This is Super Yacht News with Sysman. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So we've got I've got a few updates for you tonight. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about a video I did a few weeks ago. We discussed the possibility that new sanctions, new legislation that was being put through the UK courts would possibly affect crew members of yachts working on board Russian-owned super yachts. And I said that it's possible that the new legislation could be aimed at crew members. It was in the Guardian newspaper, they talked about it there, and they said that it was possible that that could happen, and it was a way for the government to prevent crew from, possibly aiding Russian yachts from leaving UK waters. And it was noted also that some of the crew that were working on some of these yachts, it said UK officials had noted that in Italy some crew had refused to cooperate with police over revealing the identity of the vessel's ultimate owner, and some yachts had British nationals as captains. Well, Nautilus International, that is a global seafaring union. It's mainly based in the UK as far as I know, but it says it's a global union. They spoke to the Department for Transport, part of the UK government, about this, and they asked them if that was the case, if it was going to be aimed at crew members, and they said that seafarers are not within the scope of the sanctions regulations that the UK government is applying to Russian super yachts. The international head of yacht sector, Derek Brines, made a statement, and he said that we are very pleased to have received this clarification from the Department for Transport, which has been a matter of serious concern for our members. And then he went on to say, while this will be no doubt a relief to many, we would remind those that are considering a job on board a Russian yacht to consider their options carefully, and to remember that they may well experience problems in receiving their wages because of financial sanctions against Russia. So in other words, if you go and work on a super yacht that's Russian owned, you might find yourself in a situation where you're not getting any pay. And there are examples of that fairly recently, when Motor Yacht Dilbar had to lay off all its crew. They were unable to pay their final salaries. Also, Motor Yacht Luna recently in the same situation, had to let people go, couldn't pay the salaries because their assets had been frozen as part of the sanctions. I would also add on to that if you go on a Russian yacht or a Russian owned yacht, you could end up in Russia, like Motor Yacht Nord, right? And if you're a British crew member in Russia, you have to remember that all of a sudden your rights might not be the same as you're accustomed to in the UK and in Europe, and you might find yourself in a very different situation. And also the possibility of being able to leave Russia and fly home is going to be more tricky than if you were coming from anywhere else. And also, if you do fly from Russia, I think you're probably going to get some questions when you get to immigration in the UK. Alright guys, moving on to the next story. Okay, so Amadea, you all know what's been going on with Amadea in Fiji. I'm not going to beat this one to death, but the Suva High Court has granted an order for Russian super yacht Amadea to be restrained from leaving Fijian waters. This is following an application by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution and another that a US seizure warrant of Amadea be registered. Amadea is being investigated for possible breaches of Fiji's exclusive economic zone and money laundering. So yeah, quick one there, quick update. The vessel has now been officially restrained from leaving. So basically they've got an arrest warrant on the vessel to prevent it from leaving the waters while they investigate the situation. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. There's a lot of crew on board there right now, so it should be a very clean yacht at the very least. I had some reports saying that some of the crew have been now seen out and about in Fiji. I don't know whether that's a social out and about or whether it's just for provisions and things like that. Anyway guys, on to the next story. So some yacht movements in unusual places right now. Well, not unusual ordinarily, but right now I would not want to be going into this area. when the hostilities started, one of the yachts that I didn't really talk about at the beginning, it was in the Maldives. The name of the vessel is Motor Yacht Clio. Now this yacht is owned by Russian Oleg Deripaska, and the vessel's been on the move, so it was in the Maldives. But about 10 days ago, she came through the Suez Canal, northbound, transited the canal, and headed up to Gosek in Turkey. I think that's how you pronounce it. Then a few days later, she left there and she headed to Istanbul and transited the Bosphorus Strait and headed into the Black Sea. Now, the strait is significant as it's the only way for numerous countries to get from the Black Sea out into the Mediterranean and then onwards to wherever else they want to go. And two of those countries included in those numerous countries is southeast of Russia and Ukraine. There have been a number of incidents in the Black Sea since the invasion started, and a couple of tankers have actually been hit by missiles from the Russian Navy. Motor Yacht Clio, once she headed through the strait and into the Black Sea, she turned off her AIS and poof, she just vanished. I believed at the time, I thought, well, she's probably going to Sochi in Russia. So then a few days later, another super yacht, this time owned by former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev. His yacht is called Motor Yacht Universe, and she made the same trip. She had been in Italy, in Imperia in Italy, which is a place where she used to stay a lot, laid up there when not in use. She left Imperia the day before the Italian authorities went there and arrested Motor Yacht Lady M. So she got out the day before and she headed south and then headed to Turkey, and she'd been in Turkey for a few weeks, and then she made this same trip, headed through the Bosphorus Straits into the Black Sea. However, she didn't turn off her AIS and she continued, and I tracked her and she went all the way to Sochi, which is where she is now. So yeah, so a couple of vessels moving into the Black Sea. I can't imagine they'll be leaving there anytime soon. I think they're going to be there for quite a while. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? All of these vessels that used to call home in the European Union now, it's going to be a long time before these vessels come back, I think. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. If you've got any information, be sure to send it to me the usual way, through the About page on the home page of my YouTube channel, or through Facebook Messenger. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell as well. That way you won't miss any updates. Thanks very much, and I'll catch up with you soon, guys. Bye-bye.